दुनिया से ये सुकून
Welcome to part 2 of Colourism. We heard Samia speak last week. If you haven't watched the episode, please go back and watch it. She talks about her ordeal throughout her lifetime. Just quickly before I start, thank our sponsors. Ahyan Estates, our main sponsor. They do property management. They offer guaranteed rents across London. Reach out to them. If you are looking for a banquet or a catering company, RC Catering, they're London and South East wide. They do weddings, parties and banquets. Reach out to them. Now, I brought two women on today. We've got Shaheen, that's been on one of my previous episodes, that has a lot to say about Samia's ordeal, and quite rightly so. She was quite distressed by it. And I've got another guest on, Nora. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hi.
You're an anti-aging skin specialist.
Mm-hmm.
So you do...
Anti-aging injectables and like Botox.
Is that
fillers.
Botox and stuff? And do you do it for men and women, or...?
Men and women, yeah.
So you're the right candidate for this show, because last episode, a lady came on and she spoke about her ordeal, particularly her appearance, and how people have been discriminating and judging her because of her appearance. Now, you watched the episode. The floor is yours. What do you make of that episode with Samia?
Right. First of all, thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
And okay, so I watched the episode and I had a very, very strong opinion. My opinion, I wrote a couple of paragraphs on Instagram, and I received a lot of backlash. And I can handle it because, you know, I just felt like a lot of what was said and done on that episode was, you know, not fair for the men, but the women almost like took over the stage, used your platform to be disrespectful to a generation completely older than them, a generation that will not change because they're too old to change. They won't change their ways. A comment was made specifically about, she was Bangladeshi, right?
Yeah.
So I'm Pakistani, our lingual is a little bit different.
Yeah.
And she referred to somebody as sassy,
Yeah.
which is what...
Which is an aunt.
So she used the platform to almost very specifically attack Sassi.
Yeah.
And I found that kind of deplorable. You know, Sassi said, I'm dark in color and now I'm beautiful. Before we begin, I would actually like to say, what was her name?
Samia.
Samia was beautiful. She was beautiful. She's got amazing features, and, you know, on my Instagram stories, I found it laughable. I've now been called, somebody called, well, the guest Shaheen here, she called me racist. I'm brown. Okay, I get it. You can be racist if you're brown to another culture. I'm Pakistani, you guys are Bangladeshi. And, you know, a Bangladeshi female, without knowing me, has called me racist. And for me to come here and defend myself by, like, first of all, I have to prove that I'm not racist. I have a lot of Bangladeshi friends.
Well, firstly,
friends.
if I may interject there, I don't want to get hung up on the racism. I understand you feel strongly about it.
I do, because I feel like a lot of women are narcissistic, and it's very easy for them to say that the man, their ex-boyfriend, whatever, is narcissistic. And I mean, there was constantly, oh, he's narcissistic and he's, I don't know, there were specific words used. And it, you know, first of all, the other guy is not here to defend himself. And secondly, a woman who can accuse me, another female, another brown female, of being racist, the tone and everything. I mean, I came into the studio today and I was like, hey, Shaheen, like, you know, tried to be nice and kind. I was completely ignored, like completely. And I get that. 90% of women probably do hate me because I tell them the truth.
Okay, quickly, why do they hate you?
And the truth hurts.
Why do they hate you?
Because I expose them for what they are. And like, you know, if you're going to be calling somebody narcissistic, I've just clearly proven, in my opinion, and in a lot of people's opinion, that, you know, you just like, okay, you've called me you've called your ex-husband, not being specific with anyone. I'm not being specific with anyone, but
Right.
women, they call their ex-husbands narcissistic. And then without even knowing me, based on absolutely nothing,
Right.
baselessly accuse me of being racist. And then to cover up that racism, I quote queens fix other queens' crowns. So hold on a second. First of all, you're not a queen and I'm not a queen. Let's just come back to reality. I know it may be a figure of speech, but you're no queen and I'm no queen. But hypothetically, let's take that. You're a queen. You can go and do whatever you want. And I, as another queen, I'm supposed to be like, let me just fix your crown because you were an asshole about whatever you just did. No, I don't work like that.
Right.
I don't operate like that.
Thank you.
So,
You've said a lot of things here. First,
no, I would like to say, like, before you ask me anything, like,
Right.
to begin with, what's her name again?
Samia.
Sorry, I'm really bad with names. Samia was absolutely beautiful.
Yep.
She was, she was coming here, she was raising awareness about what was 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. We're going back to like even the partition when, you guys mentioned when the English came into India and everything.
so on and so forth.
Yeah, like you've gone back to that era. Like we're in like 2024. We have children. We all have. Well, you don't. You're too young. You constantly tell us you're the baby of a podcasting show. But we all have kids, and we are not raising our kids to pick their partner or their friends based on a shade of whatever it is. And I was going to say something.
Right. Thank you very much for that. You've said a lot of things there. My first question to you is, do you sympathise with Samia?
Do I sympathise with her?
Because she has been discriminated against purely because of appearance or skin tone more specifically.
No, I don't think I do. I mean, when I went to school, there was a brown, non-Muslim, another religion, another culture, and this boy would constantly, can I say P-A-K?
No, you can't say that, no.
Okay, there was a boy and he constantly called me the slang of where I'm from, and I'm Pakistani, you can all guess what, he called me.
Yep.
And he was Asian, and so on my drive here, I kind of thought, yeah, you know what? She called me racist, and it got me. Yes, it did, because how can you accuse someone baselessly on being a racist or a narcissist?
Okay. So
you can't. You're destroying that person's life.
Right, I
now,
get
do
that.
I have sympathy with her?
Yeah, that's the question.
Do I have
you
sympathy
have sympathy
with her? No, I don't think I do, because...
Why don't you?
No, I don't.
She has... I can attest
If
that...
I can tell you, we're definitely, not here to discuss my personal life
we're not,
or
no.
my kids or my whatever situation.
Sure.
But if I can tell you, I've been through hell and back.
Yeah.
And when I look at that, that's not a problem. You have people dying of starvation. People are losing their families in the world, and we're worried about skin tone and skin color. And then that takes me to something else before I even forget. She admitted she is wearing foundations 5 shades lighter.
She used to, yeah.
5 shades lighter, and
Yeah.
then you're writing it on a CV. I don't know what these CVs are, but women are writing on the CV that they're fair or not fair and ticking the boxes. And then the mother-in-law, potential future mother-in-law, is asking, can I see the color of your neck? Now, I have a 19-year-old son.
Right.
Coming up to marital age, right? I mean, you guys have just taught me something, and now I feel like I've got to teach my son something.
What are you teaching your son?
For whatever reason, my son decides to marry a woman, I hope not, and I don't think he will, based on the color or like shade of his skin, her skin.
Yep.
But it's a thing. Like, look how much makeup women are wearing. I've got to say this. If I go back and say I was like a mother-in-law 30 years ago, maybe I would say as well, let me see the color of your neck, or let me see the color of your feet or your hands, because you're covering your natural beauty. You're completely making yourself.
So you don't think
10
that's
shades
wrong?
lighter.
You don't think that's wrong?
Today it's wrong, but
No, in your opinion, you don't think that's wrong? That people specifically ask or judge on skin color.
Okay,
preference is preference. I get that.
Okay. As a woman, I don't think I can even answer that, to be honest with you. But the men friends that I do have,
Right.
and look, you're probably not going to admit it, but I know you're with me, and I know like everyone else who's male in this studio is with me too. If Angelina Jolie was sitting on this sofa,
Right.
and then you had somebody of a darker Asian, chubbier person next to her, and you had to pick one person to be with, that one lady to be with that night, you would all pick Angelina Jolie.
Well,
I'm not wrong.
just to clarify, just in defense of the darker, chubby Asian girl, Angelina Jolie trumps a lot of women, regardless of color. So let's not use Angelina Jolie, but I get your point. Lastly, you've said a lot of things there. I just want to dissect it. You said that if your son were to specifically discriminate on skin color, and it's his preference, right? He could write orange, yellow, brown, whatever he wants. Should he have done that, you would ask him to check the skin color of the neck. Is that what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? You're
No,
just,
I wouldn't.
okay, right.
But you know, we live in a world where really, up until today, like women are wearing foundation, fake eyelashes, fake nails, fake everything, and it's okay. That makes them happy. That gives them the confidence. And why not? If you're doing it for yourself. But if you're doing it as a woman to trap a man, don't forget, ladies, you've got to have a baby, or you might want a baby, or you know, just a baby might come from somewhere. It might just really look like the real you. And you might get, I know women who have to wake up in the morning before their husband wakes up. They have to have the whole foundation and everything.
Hang on, so you're saying before a man wakes up from sleep, a woman gets up and puts copious amounts of powder on?
I have friends who do that.
You have friends?
That their guy doesn't cheat. But the guy does cheat. The guy always cheats.
Whoa, I don't think guys always cheat. That's a big accusation.
Well, men are wired in a way where, and this is a fact, I've got so many friends who have been through the whole thing that I've been through. We all talk, we're all very honest, and you know, I know how like men think. Psychologically, it's like if they spend time and money on that woman, then you know, if they've got kids with her, they will, you know, be with her. They've invested in her. And if they're not attracted to her, they will go outside of the house and cheat. The woman may find out, may never find out, but they will always come back home because their children are there, they're financially invested, and that's their marriage.
So what you're saying, in summary, is if a man's wife is unattractive to him, he will stick with her because he's stuck, because he has kids with her, or he's invested too much in her, and then they go out and cheat habitually. Is that what you're saying?
Most men do, yes. Most men do. And
interesting.
There is, bring me a man who will say he might not want to be exposed, but yes, it's true.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. Just lastly, you've said...
Do you think I'm wrong?
It's not for me to decide whether you're wrong or not. I'm just absorbing your information. Okay. Lastly, and just more to the Samia colorism, you don't sympathise with her, but do you agree that she was subject to that oppression?
Of course, yeah.
You agree that she was subject to that oppression. So the fact that she's come on and she spoke about it, surely other people should know so they can make a change. So that's why I asked, do you sympathise with her? Surely you sympathise with her from that perspective, because you're relatively a bit more fair-skinned than her, right? Lighter skinned than her.
But there can be times where I am the darkest person on the table as well.
Get that,
I am in a social circle where predominantly most of the times, I am still the darkest person. I know what racism is. I grew up with, also, who said they grew up with racism? So did I.
So did my family. Her point is this: racism should be abolished overall in a utopian world.
I've been labelled a racist.
Okay.
To another brown person.
We will address that.
I am openly saying she was a very pretty girl with amazing features. And when I first saw her...
But she's not saying...
She's not even dark.
But she's not...
But even if she is, I don't judge people.
But that's her experience, though. This is what she's been subjected to by her family, by our communities, by men casually, men mistaking her for other ethnicities of ethnic African heritage. So all of these things is her experience. She's not... Are you saying that... I'm just talking from that angle. Do you sympathise on her on the basis that she has been subjected to verbal brutality and she has had mental health issues because of it?
No.
You don't? Thank you very much, Nora. Shaheen?
Hi.
Thank you very much for waiting very patiently and graciously. Just to give the audience an introduction of why I've brought you on. You've had an Instagram spat with Nora and you feel very strongly about Samia's cause.
Of course.
The floor is yours.
Well, first of all, Nora, nobody came for you because we didn't even know you existed. You started coming onto the podcast, posts and started throwing slander at us. And then we retaliated and we realised that you're really just trying to trigger us to try to get a reaction. Now, again...
a reaction I got, by the way, you'll be able
Nora,
to...
please, let her say it and then you can interject, yeah? Sorry.
I'm here to learn and life is all about learning. I am definitely taking on board what Nora has to say, but I do find her quite shallow. I find that she's a pick-me. I feel as though she's here for herself and not for the cause, because this podcast is supposed to be a voice for the voiceless. Nora's her own voice. She's just here for herself.
But isn't Sassy voiceless because she's not here to defend herself?
Good point, Nora, but please can you allow Shaheen to speak?
Sure.
Right,
If you-
as she did. Right.
If you have never experienced something before, you for sure you don't have any rights to actually start saying that this person's lying, this person's a victim, and you start victim blaming when you've never experienced that before. The whole point of Voice for the Voiceless is to share our experiences so we can spread awareness and help other people who may be experiencing it, because mental health is not spoken about enough. And as I can see from the community that Nora is from, they tend to brush things under the carpet and silence victim and not allow victim to talk about it, because if you do, that makes you a bad person. The other thing, I'm not Bengali. I'd love to be. I think Bengali people are wonderful, beautiful people. I'm not from Bangladesh. Actually, I'm more closer to where you're from. So hence the reason why, back to the reason why I called her a racist, it wasn't the case of I labelled her a racist. I said her words were coming across as she was, because of the lack of...
Do you understand the consequences of calling someone racist?
Do you understand the consequences of all the horrible slander you were throwing at me and at Samia? You have to, every single woman that has come on your podcast, this lady over here has got a problem with, right? And it's like she's giving me it's called an inferior complex, where somebody feels and thinks that they're better and they live life better than everybody else, so they have to look down on people. I could be wrong, but again, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. But apart from that, whatever happened to Samia is not fair. Like, you know, especially young kids that get called, like they call it pet names or baby names, but you don't understand that sometimes when they grow up, those pet names can have a huge effect on their confidence as human beings. So what I had, unfortunately, I didn't get to watch Samia's podcast, the whole thing, but I definitely will as soon as I go back. Reached out to Samia. Me and her are definitely going to be coming back and speaking about it on her level, to understand how she must have felt when somebody older than you is putting you down to that degree.
Have you been discriminated against because of your colour from our communities?
Absolutely. When I was growing up, I had family members. So I'm actually mixed. I'm half Arab, half Indian, but basically more, I don't know, well, we'll go into another time, sure. Yeah? So my cousins who are full Indian or Pakistani, some of them, would put me down because of the fact that my dad was a black Arab. He's a black Arab, he is a black Arab. Okay. So hence the reason why I have seen other Asian community members who are fairer than me, right, putting me down for the colour of my skin. And before Nora, who clearly lacks empathy and sympathy as an individual, says that I'm being a victim, I'm allowed to feel the way how people have made me feel. Samia is allowed to feel this way. The lady before Samia that came in is allowed to speak about how people have made them feel.
I'm going to interrupt. I don't lack empathy. I'm just not here to if I hear bullshit, I'm going to say it's bullshit, and that's all that's happening. And I'm not sorry that you feel that way, actually, but I most definitely, and people who know me in my life know I completely do not lack empathy.
Okay, well, again, so if you feel strongly like this, what gives you the right to start pointing fingers at other women if that's the case? If people know you, how do you know people don't know me?
Can you ask me that again? Can you ask me? I didn't understand.
You don't understand. So what she's saying is that if you're saying that you have empathy and you don't lack empathy, how can you not understand what Samia's going through?
No, I don't. Okay, she is saying, I can say that...
My name is Shaheen. Shaheen, did you understand that? Was I speaking French?
Right, Shaheen, sorry.
No, but it's not she. I address her as Nora, right?
My name is Shaheen.
We're adults.
Yep.
You've got 19-year-old son.
Nora?
My son's got nothing to do with
it. Yeah, but you're an
fine.
Adult, you're a mother,
Don't make
you know.
it personal.
Okay, right,
No.
Nora, go
Okay.
on. Yeah. So the question was, Shaheen has asked, that if you are empathetic, why can't you understand Samia's pain?
I'm just not giving attention where I don't think it is warranted. Just not doing it. And I just think sitting on a sofa and crying about your skin shade is, in my opinion, and in most certainly, I've spoken to a lot of people, like in the last 24 hours, extremely shallow, absolutely shallow. With what's going on in the world, you're crying today in 2024 about the color of your skin. I have one question for her. She's probably going to watch this, and you guys can, in your own heads, answer this question too. Just think about it for a second. Look at the color of your skin. Are you brown? It's simple, yes or no, right? are you darker than predominantly whatever you're comparing yourself to? It's either yes or no. So what the hell is the problem? Why the hell are you sitting on a sofa crying about the skin shade? Okay, you're trying to raise awareness in 2024. In 2024, I don't think people give it absolute two hoots about the color, the skin shade of the other person. I just don't think people care.
She would beg to differ, though. She would beg to differ because the community I'm from, and I can also speak on behalf of the Pakistani community as well, darker skinned women, and when I say darker skin...
I have friends who are, I've spoken to them and they want to be invited on your show, and they are Pakistani, they are dark colored skinned, and they're making the point, we are dark, we don't have the problem, and if that other person has the problem, that's their problem. And if the man who doesn't want a dark skinned Asian girl as his girlfriend, as his bride, future mother of the children, whatever bullshit, then that's his problem. He can go to Morocco, he can go to America, he can do whatever he wants, he can go and find whoever he wants.
The problem is...
He is the one with the problem. And he's entitled to make a decision whether he wants to be black, blue, green, brown, dark brown, white.
Nora,
it's up to him.
If I may, so...
If I was a man, I don't think, I'm going to be honest, if I was a man and there were two women...
But you're not a man, you're a woman.
If I was a man and there were two women, and I'm speaking for most men, and, please comment below and, high five me because you're with me, right? If you would pick one or the other, you know what you would pick. So...
Right. I get an individual has preference, right? You can pick whoever you want and wherever you want from, right? But when a community collectively punishes you, that was the point. That's the reason why Samia came on. It's a collective punishment. Our whole communities are subjecting her.
A generation, you mean?
No, I wouldn't say generation, I'd say communities. I think it still exists till this day. Not with the kids growing up, but our generation, if you're, I'd say 26 plus, within a South Asian community, particularly Bangladeshi and Pakistani, I don't know many Indian people, you will discriminate against a darker South Asian woman. So it's a collective punishment.
So in my culture, in my community, where I come from, my friends, my circle, we don't have this. And I'm being honest
Your
with
circle,
you.
but I'm talking about wider communities.
No, my culture, my community, my mum, her friends, their kids, their extended.
So you're saying,
we don't have
you're
this.
saying, and I'm going to ask you, you're saying your mother-in-law, everyone, your community, wider community, if there was a darker skinned Pakistani woman or even man, there wouldn't be eyebrows raised or he's a bit dark or she's a bit dark.
Not at all.
You can say that unequivocally.
100%.
Okay.
100%. We do not discriminate.
I know a lot of Bengali people and Pakistani people, and they've given me personal accounts, and they're not even dark, but darker. They're still tanned and they look very good. I mean, my colour's nice. I like my colour. It's tanned.
That's to my point. That's the first thing I said. Yeah. She was, she was Samia, right?
Yeah,
Samia.
But it's different.
Beautiful.
No, but it's different. But my point is this. Regardless of what her beauty is, men may find her attractive, but collectively...
I found her attractive. She was a very pretty lady.
Because she was darker skinned, when she did narrate her stories, whether it's in Brick Lane, or whether it was in East Ham, or whether it was generally in Tower Hamlets and East London and further afield...
But I think she was talking about when she was growing up, when she was a child.
So, she's not that old. We're talking within the last 25 years at most.
Yeah, so it's a different generation. A generation that you cannot change.
But
if I ask my own mum, can you change your ways? Mum, can you do this? Mum, can you do that? My mum's not going to change. She's too old to change.
But we're not talking about old people, though.
Are
we're talking about
we,
people,
as a generation, not respectful to that generation?
Are we not talking about people our age and older? Just say 25 plus. Because some of these people hold these views. Or 30 plus even. 30 plus, from 30 to 70, in the South Asian community, I'm not saying all, but a lot of people hold the views that South Asian women that are of darker skin are of lesser value.
No, I disagree.
You disagree?
I disagree, and if that's happening, it's not the dark-colored person who has the problem, and it's the person whoever's doing this. They are the ones who have the problem.
I get that they have the problem.
So is it happening? No, I don't think it is. No. 2024, that's not what's happening.
I do think it's happening.
Sorry, can I interrupt?
Sure,
It
sure, yeah.
absolutely happens. And the whole point of what Samia was trying to say wasn't about the colour of her skin, because I'm sure she's very happy now with the way that she's embraced who she is.
Sure.
She was actually spreading awareness about Sassy, because there are many women who are shallow, like Sassy.
Right, whenever we mention Sassy, I'm going to stick up for Sassy, because Sassy is not here. And in like the legal system, you cannot slander someone if the other person does not have a defense. So Sassy, you know, probably had a psychological, maybe, you know, I'm saying this very respectfully, her upbringing was probably different, you know, within the partition and Pakistan.
Some
and
people
India
just love the sound of their own
divided.
voice, honestly. Because
Yeah, because I'm pro-Sassy, you're anti-Sassy, so we're not going to agree.
but
so
you,
learn to disagree.
I have
It's
kept.
not some people are never going to understand.
Absolutely.
Some people like me are just
Sweetheart,
not going to agree
sweetheart.
with you. My name is Nora.
Nora,
definitely
my
not your
lovely,
sweetheart.
my darling.
I'm not your lovely or your darling. Let's just stick to
Right.
Nora.
I'm going to stop there. Just so, lastly, on your point, I can personally say I've been Bengali mates, men mates, male mates, and Pakistani male mates.
They want a fair-skinned girl.
You've read my mind there.
Right.
So what happens there? So it's a collective thing here.
Okay, so they want a fair-skinned girl. Now, first impressions is, in my opinion, my business. It's absolutely everything. You've had a lot of, I was going to say patience, but you've had a lot of guests
Right.
who have been quoting beauty is inside out. I'm quite the opposite. I preach the opposite. It's
Right.
actually, first impressions is absolutely everything. When you see somebody, you don't know them. You don't know whether they're nice, they're not nice. You don't know whether they're racist or not racist. You don't know anything about them.
Right.
The first thing you see on someone, and it's actually a scientific fact, as an anti-aging skin specialist, the first thing you see on someone is their teeth. That just gives your age away, it gives your beauty away, it's your teeth. And after your teeth, it's your eyes. And after your eyes, then it's absolutely everything else. There is no point, I'm just giving you an example.
I agree with
There
you,
is
by
no
the way.
point in someone having a lip filler, Botox, fillers here, there, makeup, 5 shades lighter of makeup, and then smiling, and your teeth are all over the place, right? So that's how anti-aging actually begins. So if, you know, there's a guy, your friends, now you said this, so
Yeah.
your friends, his friends, I hope you don't mind saying he, unless,
Yeah, you can say he, yeah.
yeah,
he,
you can be
yeah.
anything these
Yeah.
days, right?
No, he,
so,
yeah.
So you said that your friends like fair-skinned
And
women.
associates, yeah.
Now, why should they not? That's their opinion, that's their preference, and that's what turns them on. Who the hell am I, or you, anyone, to, you know, say that that's unfair? It's not unfair. It's absolutely
And
not.
that-
Just as a woman, if I, you know, want green, orange, or blue guy, and I pick my guy, I pick my victim, I call them. If I pick him, it's totally up to me. You cannot give me an orange person and say, here you go, make it turn you on. It's not gonna. We're not wired like that.
Okay, so, Nora-
your friends are entitled
Okay,
to
no,
have
no,
their fair
I
women.
get.
And if there's none left in London and you want to go to Morocco, then peace out. Do it. Who
Nora,
cares?
I'm glad you've mentioned Morocco a few times, and you're an advocate maybe for Morocco, or you're probably taking the mick here. But
No, absolutely not.
I-
I respect him a lot. I love what he did. I absolutely love what he
that-
did.
who-
He was
who
supposed
did?
to
Who
go-
did?
Your guest.
that went to Morocco, but it was tragic.
No, but I love what he did. It ended in tragedy because of Allah. Look, I'm Muslim, right? So I'm going to give a very Islamic view here. Now, Allah only puts two people together that are meant to be together. They're like-minded, and you know, even when one spouse cheats or does the other one wrong, it happens because Allah knows something you don't know. So it happens for the best, and Allah separates you. Am I going into religion?
No, just carry on. No, we don't. No, you carry on. You don't
okay.
stop. You carry on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So my.
Yep. Carry on.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Okay, so Allah puts two people together and Allah separates the two people
Right.
when He knows one is doing good or bad,
Sure.
right? So, what's his name?
Shams.
Shams went to Morocco. He found this lovely girl in a shisha bar where you guys do, and they had chemistry. These are his words. I watched the show, so I'm not saying anything I shouldn't be. They had chemistry and they got married. They made it halal. His intentions, I believe, were good. And, there are, I know there are a lack of women who are respectful and attractive
What's the
left
point?
in this country. So he went to Morocco. What was the question?
No,
We went to Morocco, right?
No,
So he found this. Okay, so yeah.
So
it
essentially,
ended in tragedy.
It ended in tragedy.
So it
yeah.
ended in tragedy because I believe when I watched that show that Allah separated them because His intention was good, and hers was evidently.
Right.
I know
Thanks
not
for
very.
that. I'm going to bring it back, and I will come back to you, Shaheen. Thank you for what.
It's only because I have to go.
Patiently,
I've got a son. I've got food to make.
I get that.
Thank
So
you. Sorry.
just on your assertion that yes, I fully agree with you that men have every right to have preferences, but what you're missing here, from my perspective, is if every man in our society is saying, I want a fair-skinned beauty, it's deep-rooted, it's indoctrinated, it comes from post-colonial shock, it comes from imperialism, it comes from a superior and inferior complex. So yes, they can have a preference, but maybe they're wired to think that way. That's what we're trying to explore here.
No. Now, I've spoken to a lot of people again, like friends, before I came on, and I asked them to be completely honest with me. What's your preference? Fair, dark? And they all said fair. And they're not wired that way. I know that for a fact because I know their mums, I know their upbringings, I know their education.
Right.
These are all Pakistani men.
Right.
And they preferred fair skin.
Right. So you don't see that as, it's just, you're merely saying it's just a preference, it's got nothing to do with a problem within our community, because the darker skinned South Asian women from Bangladesh and Pakistan, and we don't even want to go into India because they've got a whole caste system. And I will be exploring that next
Pakistan,
episode.
we do too, and
So
that is why a lot of Pakistani men back then, their families, again, a generation issue is they do want to marry lighter girls so that they can have kids that are lighter, so that the kids don't face the hardship that they faced, that generation.
So you acknowledge there's a problem.
There was a problem.
So there isn't a problem anymore?
No, because people don't marry. There has to be more for a marriage to last, to have children.
So what happens when?
I mean, you can be attracted to someone who's fair and then find out they're a complete
I get that.
narcissist.
Okay, no, I get that.
Of a person,
okay, right. So what happens?
Break
what
up
happens?
And not get
okay,
married and not have kids.
let me draw out a picture for you. Right, you're Samia's colour. You've gone to a potential wedding talk. Your potential in-laws check your neck, the colour of your neck, the colour of your feet, and give you looks because you're a little darker. You think that's not a problem?
Okay, first of all, I don't think I would ever be in that situation. Secondly, if hypothetically,
you could have been in that situation if you were Samia's colour, though.
Then this is exactly where my Instagram comment instigated. Like, this is why I wrote what I wrote. She's beautiful. She needs the confidence, and she should be proud of who she is.
I'm sure she's proud, but she's just merely stating what's happened.
No, there always has to be a black sheep of the family. I am the black sheep of the family. There's a lot I've done that takes me outside of my culture to make it easy for other women who went through what I went through. And for me to have gone through the journey that I had gone through, that's why I'm saying it's extremely trivial to watch a podcast. Of course it was entertaining to put someone here and give that title and talk about it. It's entertaining. I watched it. I don't even watch TV, so of course I found it entertaining.
Thank you. I'm glad you're a fan.
Likewise, so are we, to sit us here and entertain the world with whatever's our stories, whatever.
Thank you, Nora. Thank you. If I may.
Okay, sure.
Shaheen's been waiting ever so quietly and patiently.
Thank
what have
you.
you got to say about that?
Again, there's a lot of people have been programmed a certain way, and I still believe that caste system does work. It's not about Samia being a victim. It happens to so many people, and it's unfortunate. And some people are so programmed and brainwashed, they don't realise they're doing it. So they will automatically go for that fair-skinned girl because that's what they've been indoctrinated into doing. Now, again, what fathoms me are women that don't defend other women. It's beyond me. It puzzles me to sit there and think, how can you not have empathy and sympathy for your fellow gender, and you're just sitting there
because I'm
throwing yourself like, hi guys, hello guys, you're the best. Like, it's such a part. It's such a part for me. Like, come on, it's so cringe to watch. Like, how can you just throw yourself out there and you're here for attention? You're not here because this is a voice for the voiceless. You're at the wrong show. You're on the wrong show, mate. Do you know what I mean? You're here, like, no, it's not just about the guys and the girls, right? It's about what you doing, what's right and what's fair. And when somebody, like, for example, if I saw somebody get bullied, I will get up. I couldn't care less if you're a man or a woman. The right thing to do is get up and go, how dare you discriminate against this person because of the way that they look or the way that they come across or their beliefs or if they're in a wheelchair or what colour they are. It's shallow. It's disgusting that we base everything on looks and we don't see beyond that. We don't see beyond that person. And it's time for us to talk about this so we can change the future generation, so we don't have any more shallow people sitting there to make sure that we encourage our future children to love. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with feminism. I mean, utter feminism is somebody that believes in equal rights.
Like, I can't take this. I don't like feminists.
Just a second.
You know what? Some people have such a inferior complex. Honestly, they love their own voice. They're such pick-me-shers. They're literally nobody even invited this lady on the podcast. She begged. She begged her. But nobody even noticed who she was, though. Like, nobody noticed who she was. Nobody was like, we didn't know who she was. But you know what? Well, she has been invited, and she's just here trying to embarrass other females so she can make herself feel better. But no matter what, when somebody's insecurity is this high, doesn't matter what you do, you still have to go home and face that person in the mirror that you're not a nice woman and you're a mean girl and you're an absolutely a mean girl, and you are. If you watch the pod, you are a narcissist, sweetheart, and I feel so sorry for you and I pray for you. I'll keep you in my du'as, inshallah, that you become a better person, because we are all here to improve. And guess what? Every single one of us has a form of narcissism. It's about what we do with it in the future.
So
right?
I'm a narcissist, her ex-husband is a narcissist, you're going to be one by the end of this show. You're a feminist, and
why don't you like feminists? Tell me.
Because we're all humans. I am an
you're a pick-me
ambassador for
She's a pick-me.
international human rights, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and
you're an ambassador for international
human rights, RFT, and women women will call the man a narcissist,
right?
When they are the biggest. This is a typical example.
You're talking about yourself again.
Female and a feminist. Who, like, there's so many bad things.
You're upset, you're intimidated that there are strong women speaking up and you don't like it because you're not one. You need to work on yourself. You shouldn't be on a podcast. You should be a therapist sofa, mate.
Thank you, Shima.
I'm done now. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Right, carry on. Sorry. Thank you.
So, in my opinion, she completely lost control of her emotions. Right. And usually that is what does happen. That is the reaction you get when you've been, she said, I think I'm this and I'm that. Right. Are we going to pause?
No, we're going to carry on. We're going to carry on. Obviously, this was unexpected. I can't stop it from leaving.
Okay, yeah.
I do thank you for coming on, and I appreciate it, and I'll speak to you afterwards.
Okay, sure. So that is the reaction you get. This is everything they said that a narcissist does. That a narcissist will, love bomb, and the things I've heard on this sofa in the previous episodes. It's basically she's come here, defended her friend, the other lady, defended her from somebody who wasn't even attacking her in the first place. She's given her opinion, and now she cannot take mine. Because I have pointed out that I think she's narcissistic, because I've pointed out she's a feminist.
Why do you don't like feminists?
Got angry,
Why don't you like
And
feminists?
she left.
Why don't you like feminists? Tell me.
I like everyone. I don't discriminate. I personally don't have the same opinion as them. So because okay, women are equal to men. Okay, please, women, go and build a house, go and take out the rubbish, go and do all the jobs that the men are doing. And, a lot of this comes from psychological rooted background where you've been married, it didn't work out, you got divorced. Oh, he's a psycho, he can't see the kids. Oh, he's a narcissistic man, I just want the money. That's what it is. You fall into the legal system, you're fighting for money, you're fighting for kids. And coercive control, financial control, narcissistic, it's a female's vocabulary.
So you don't agree with feminists?
No.
At all?
No.
And what would your advice be to feminists?
I don't have any advice for them. It's not my job to take care of them, tell them what to do, what to eat, when to sleep, whatever.
No, but if you see someone,
No, but I will stick up for what the person... Look, your podcast is called The Silent Majority.
Absolutely, yeah.
What attracted me to the first episode when I watched it was the guy who went to Morocco.
Right.
As a female, who have a child, two children out there, and that is the future, so I want to know, I want to see it. why did I hear about it all the time, that guys are going to Morocco, boys trips, whatever it is. And this guy went on a boys trip when he met this girl. And when he met her, he ended up marrying her and, all of that. But what's the point? What was the point I was making?
That's fine. All right. So, obviously...
Okay, and men, they're running away from women like this. They actually are, because women, what was my advice to feminists, right? Why can't you just remind me?
I've just told you. What's your advice to feminists?
No, you just told me now.
I told you. Go on.
Okay, so to...
Yep, go on.
But she's still giving commentary in the
No,
background.
that's fine.
Why is she not left? Why have you not left?
I've got security. That's fine.
No, but why is she not left?
No,
I'm in control.
Right,
Total
so-
control. I'm
Right.
just wondering why you would get up from the sofa and
Right.
give-
Okay.
I'm so
Okay.
boring.
Listen.
She just said I'm boring. The
Okay.
feminist thinks I'm boring.
Okay. Right. Shaheen, please. Shaheen,
It's a
please.
podcast. You're supposed to talk.
Shaheen, can you, if you don't mind, as you've left the set, can you wait outside for me politely? Thank you very much. Security, can you? Thank you. Thank you
So-
very much, Shaheen. I'll speak to you afterwards. Thank you. Let me just wrap this up.
So she left the sofa. She got kicked off the show. She was disrespectful. I came on. I said hi to her. The
Right.
first thing, I even called you and said, please let her know I'm going to be nice and, chill out.
Just lastly,
She was so
okay,
rude.
this
but
this
that
was going to
is-
happen.
That is your typical feminist, narcissistic
Right.
woman.
Right.
That she is a typical narcissist. And to call a man a narcissist, a woman like that, who can
Bear in
attack
mind, she's
me-
just left now. She's
Yeah,
left. She's
so-
not defending herself. So
Okay,
let's
but-
stop talking about her.
No, but I'm going on fact.
Okay.
She attacked me on Instagram.
Right.
She's dangerous. Women like that are dangerous.
Okay.
If they can throw accusations, you're a narcissist. These are criminal offenses. Being racist, you can legally be done for it. So to call someone a racist, have some grounding. Have a ground.
Lastly, as this is a colorism episode and not a feminism episode, you've spoken quite a lot and you've made very many points. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No, I think-
and one more thing.
No.
Like I told you, like I said to you, respectfully call her and tell her I'm going to be nice.
Yeah.
And that was my intention.
Right.
You just tell the audience. I came in and I said hi, and
Yeah,
she
you
was,
did, yeah.
She was a.
Whoa!
not allowed?
You can't say that.
Okay,
You
just
can't say.
buzz me.
No, you can't say that.
Okay.
Sorry, you can't say that.
Okay, so I came in and she said hi, I said hi and I completely got blanked. My mum taught us growing up that even if it's your enemy, keep it to the level where you can still say salam.
Okay.
Always say hi and bye. Don't ever stoop to that
Just
level.
quickly, as you're the only guest on, you've got a minute just on Samia's adversities. Just summary on what you think of that, because it's about colorism. Obviously, we went into a lot of things today.
Well, I think it's amazing that she had the confidence to come here and
Right.
talk about it.
Right.
She's a beautiful lady
Right.
outside and inside. The more she spoke, the more attractive she became.
Right.
She's got amazing features, and I don't think the color of her skin. We're in 2024. My opinion is completely. She's gone. Woohoo!
Right. Go on, carry on.
Okay, sorry. Got distracted by the eviction. What was this?
So, just to summarise,
Okay.
what do you think of Samia coming on
Okay.
and talking about her adversity?
I think it was unacceptable, deplorable, some of the things that she did say. I completely disagreed with them. A lot of what she was trying to control is how men pick their women, and I don't think that's for her. I think a man can choose what and who he finds
Can I just say
attractive.
respectfully, right? Obviously, I'm an obvious man, right?
And to use your platform to slander her, I think it was her father's side of the family.
Possibly, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's...
I'm not sure who she was specifically talking about.
I think it's disgusting. I think it's deplorable.
Well, that she
unacceptable.
slandered.
Yeah, it's...
She might be telling the truth, though.
Even if it's the truth, there is so much truth. Me as a woman, I could sit on your sofa
Right.
and tell the world.
Okay.
There is so much truth. But you just don't do that. It's
Okay.
not classy. It's
Okay, right.
There's zero class to slandering a generation that is that old. That's like my we're what, 30s, 40s, so 50s, 60s. You're slandering 60, 70-year-olds that called you dark when you were a child. I mean, I'm 5'2", and I was teased by my, whatever, that you're short, you're fat, you're this. okay, I'm going to put my hands up. I'm 5'2". I'm short. I own it. But I'm not going to sit on your sofa and say that my sussy calls me short and cry about it and tell all the men in our society to go and marry short women. If that's not what turns them on, I'm not going to push them to go and be with a short lady.
Right.
But if that man chooses his wife on her appearance, and why lie? It's a scientific fact that it is first impressions. But after the first impressions, you get to know the person. And if somebody got to know her, you know, she's beautiful. She was beautiful. But if somebody gets to know her, she's even more beautiful. But that narcissist over there,
right? She's not here, by the way, now.
Okay, all right. So we're not going. But that is a classic example. She said she was half Arab and half
African Arab.
Okay.
Oh, black Arab, sorry.
Okay. She was fair in skin tone. You know, she made effort to look pretty.
Right.
I know I'm not going to say anything
So
evil.
she's not here.
No,
She's
no,
not
I'm
here.
not going to say
Yeah.
anything evil. But as the audience saw it, look at her tone. She lost control. She lost control over my one message. She constantly said, "Why are you writing an essay?" Now, I don't know to what degree she's educated, but it was a couple of paragraphs.
Right.
And then to fix the queen, she's not a queen.
Okay.
So I don't need to fix her crown. I'm
Okay.
not here to fix the crowns of feminists. And I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
I'm not going to change.
Nora? Just from my perspective, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.
You are...
she said I wasn't invited on the show.
No, I clarified that.
Yeah, why did she
Just
say
to clarify, she was invited. Thank you very much for giving your rather controversial opinions. I respect that you weren't pulling your punches and you were being bluntly honest. But after this episode, when Samia, for instance, watches this, and Shaheen, that just left, watches this, and other people watch this, we may have another episode where I invite Samia on, I invite Shaheen on, and you're more than welcome to come on. Obviously, I'll have security, so...
I don't usually put myself in situations where, you know, the disrespect that I'm really going to have to think about it.
That's
if
fine,
she's gonna
that's
be on
fine.
it. But Samia is absolutely lovely. I hope she behaves like a lady as well.
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
This lady did not behave like a lady.
Okay, right. Please, she's not here. I don't want... If you walked off and she was bad-mouthing you, I'd stop her the same.
No, I'm not bad-mouthing her. I'm just stating
But
the
that's
fact
what's
that
evident. Let the audience make a decision on that, okay? Thank you very much, Nora.
Thank you
and
so
I wish
much.
you all the best with your anti-aging, Botox, skin specialism business.
Thank you so much.
If you guys do want to see what the spat was over, it's on my Instagram, Silent Majority Podcast on Instagram. And under the message section, you've got Nora, Lady Nora, I believe, and Shaheen S, amongst other women, having a very, very heated debate. Hence why this episode happened. Next episode, provided that we don't have another episode with other women on, just to address what's just happened in this episode, we'll be talking about the caste system, post-colonial shock, and all the things that really affect the way we think and our thought process. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you again very shortly. Thank you. Bye-bye.